They're dumbfounded at what goes on here. The corruption drips off the walls in this place. It's crazy.
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
That's what the left-wing media wants you to think. You can't handle the truth. But I'll always give you the unvarnished truth of the corruption, media bias, and downright lies you are being told by Albany today. I'm New York State Assemblyman David DiPietro. Some say I'm the conscience of Albany because I believe you, the citizens of New York, need to know the truth. Welcome to the Truth in Politics podcast and to this week's show. Welcome to Truth in Politics, everyone. I'm Dave DiPietro. Welcome to this show today. We're jam-packed again. Want to start out with one of our favorite people in the entire world, huh? Greta Thunberg. You know her, right? She's now the 20-year-old. Boy, is she getting old? Wasn't it just the other day she was in diapers protesting climate change, running around, soiling her pants and talking about climate change. Now she's 20 years old and not getting any better looking either. But she was out. She got arrested again. I mean, she loves getting arrested, okay? That's why is it liberals love getting arrested? They really think they're making a change when they get arrested. Is it just the publicity? It's just being able to get on the news and, oh, she was arrested again. Well, she got arrested again, I think, in Sweden. And what she said was, let me quote this. She said, "We cannot save the world by playing by the rules." And so she admitted her guilt, but she said, I am not guilty in the sense that I am not going to play by your rules anymore. And she's gone on media now and told everybody that it's time not to play by the rules, meaning forget the rule of law. Okay, the ends justify the means. And where have you heard that, folks? That's a Democrat playbook right there. We don't care if we cheat in an election to win. The end justifies the means. We don't care if we cheat in politics. The end justifies the means. And that's what she's saying. We don't care about law. We don't care about your safety. We don't care about whether or not we're hurting other people or corporations, okay? Because our cause is more important than your safety and your freedom and any kind of a business. And that's what she's been telling people, that it's time now to obscure and obfuscate the law of order, use whatever means is necessary, and that's violence, it's anything, to get their ends justifies the means. That's disgusting to me, okay? Because, again, it shows no moral plumb line. It shows no ethics, no values. It shows they have no respect for anybody but their own feelings, okay? And I'm sorry about your feelings, but, okay, you want to be, it's sad that 24% of the world thinks that a man can now have a baby because of their feelings, and they don't want to get too messed up in that whole political realm. Sorry, but a man can't have a baby. End of story. Okay. So, and Greta Thunberg is just like the poster child of everything wrong with this world. She is the poster child for what communism is. She's the poster child of how to destroy you as a family, you as an individual, and everything that goes along with it. Okay, now, yeah, I'm guilty of what we did, but I'm not guilty anymore because we're not going to play by your rules. Sorry, Greta, it doesn't work like that. This is a world that is governed by law and order, whether you like it or not. So as a leftist or a Democrat or a communist and you don't like the police, that's way too bad. The fact is, when things start going wrong, the first person and people you're going to call are the police, law enforcement. And unfortunately for you, they're still going to be here when you end up on the ash heap of history. So keep going, Greta. I can't believe that over the number of years now that you've been an activist, okay, spewing your communist baloney. I can't believe the number of idiots that actually follow you, that actually believe in anything you say. But that's what the left is. They glom onto anything like that. Are they ever happy? Come on, Democrats, liberals, communists. Liberals, are you ever happy? Do you ever wake up and say, what a day today? This is a great day God has made, and I'm going to enjoy it, and the world is good. Okay, things are going great. They don't. Come on, I know so many, they wake up and they're miserable. It's always a crisis. What's taking on today? What happened? Somebody wasn't able to marry their dog yesterday, okay? The girl that identifies as a cat, they wouldn't put a litter box in the school for her, right? And full-term abortion, the baby's killed after it's born. That's not enough. We want a 7-day waiting period to be able to say whether we want that child or not. It's ridiculous. It's always a crisis every day, and they can't live without it being a crisis. And that's the difference between us and them. It's called happiness, common sense, making the best of your life versus there is nothing in the world today to these people that is right. Even when they win, they're miserable. Come to Albany and sit on the floor of the New York State Assembly or Senate. They're always screaming. They've got super majority. Okay, what does that mean? There's 150 members. They have 101 of them. Okay, supermajority. Our side can't do anything. We don't get any bills up to the floor. We don't even have allowed to debate half the time. They've had complete control of this government for over 5 years, folks, of New York State. So homelessness, there should be no homelessness. For 5 years, they've had total control. They should have ended it. So why is it still there? Everything. The migration problem, the illegal aliens, it's still there. What's going on? You have complete control. You have a blank check and you've used it. But it never gets fixed because everything you touch turns to junk. Everything you touch in New York State never helps anyone besides yourself. You're so corrupt, it drips off the walls in Albany. I say it all the time because it's true. Day after day, all they do is scream and argue, and we just sit there. We'll debate them, but we don't have the ability to create a law. So they get whatever they want, and it's never enough because it never gets fixed. Because communism and socialism never fix anything. So please stop. And Greta Thunberg is the poster child of everything that's wrong. Everything that she says is 100% wrong. She's got nothing going for her, and the left gloms onto her like they do with all these false gospels and ideas. If it feels good today, we're going to do it. Damn the torpedoes if it actually works or not, because it never does. How many times do we go back and say, that law you passed 2-3 years ago? It didn't work. It made things worse every day. So Greta Thunberg, God bless you. I just wish you would disappear because you are the poster child of everything that's wrong. Speaking of everything that's wrong, folks, let's go to the next one. This is great in New York City. I do my rotten apple update. I could do the whole show on the rotten apple. And here's another one. It starts with our great new communist Mayor Adams. That's twice now they've elected, New York City's elected a communist. Okay, these aren't socialists. These aren't Democrats. These are communists, okay? De Blasio and now Mayor Adams. And these are communists running that city into the ground along with all the communists in the city council. There's 60 people in the New York City Council. You know how many Republicans are on that New York City Council? 2. One good friend of mine, Joe Borelli, is one of them. There's only 2, 58. Out of the 58 Democrats on that city council, how many do you think are actual communists? About 25. It's crazy. And the rest are socialists. And they're running that stupid city into the ground. It's the rotten apple. And let me talk about Mayor Adams. You got the story right here. It's and it goes in. This delves and it transpires all into a lot of the things that are wrong. So let me start out with New York City is a sanctuary city, right, folks? Right? You've heard that for years. We're a sanctuary city under Trump. Trump's wrong, and we're going to take all these people. We're going to take these illegals. They're not migrants, folks. They're illegal aliens. They're here illegally. They need to be deported. But New York City is a sanctuary city, so they said, we welcome them all. Well, what's happened? All of a sudden, these other states that say we don't want them, like Texas down at the border, they're shipping them to New York City. You want them? You can have them. Now, and what's New York City doing? Do you think they're welcoming them with open arms? No, they're not. Now New York City is actually under Mayor Adams, is actually sending out flyers down to the border to all these illegals that are crossing and telling them not to come to New York City. Don't come to New York City. It's a bad place. And they're all now the left is screaming at the mayor because he put his foot into it, because he's trying to stop the influx of illegals, the ones that they love and want. But isn't that how liberals are, folks? Come on. We've got them in my own little hometown of East Aurora. We got some just ultra liberals, and just try and bring an illegal alien to their doorstep. There's a poster child, a woman on Oakwood Avenue in East Aurora, this little village. Just all these resist signs in the front, and we love everybody. 6,000 square foot home for just her and her husband, right? They're older. Bring one illegal alien over there and say, hey, look, can you put these people up for a couple weeks? One of us, they would scream to high heaven. That's the hypocrisy of these blithering idiots. And she's one of them. So I got to tell you, this is, they're sending these notes down, these flyers down out of New York City and saying not to come to New York City. All right. And Mayor Adams now, because it's a crisis in New York City, there's so many homeless and so many illegal aliens, there's nowhere to put them. That's a whole nother story. But Mayor Adams is blaming everybody else. He's blaming the media. He's blaming the politicians. He's blaming Albany. This is your problem, pal. Okay, you're in the middle of it. You wanted these people. And now all of a sudden you're blaming everybody. You're trying to get rid of them. Okay. The funny thing is, every time they show, this is what I really want to talk about too. Every time they show a video of these illegal aliens in the buses that are coming up, they're all males, 18 to 30 years old. Where are the women and children? Okay, like every 50th person is a woman of some sort, if she identifies like that. I don't know. But where are the old people? Okay, it's all 18 to 30-year-old males. What do you think that actually is, folks? Okay, do you think there's something else going on here? Of course there is. Of course there is. So I love it that Mayor Adams, who's another blithering hypocrite, I don't know if he's going to make it all the way through his term, because his own people are rebelling against him. Okay, his own Democrats don't like him, and they're fighting with him. And he's doing mea culpas all over. He's vetoing their own Democrat laws, and then he's having meetings with them to make up to them and try and smooth everything over. So that's pretty funny. But his misinformation goes on and on. I want to talk about what this whole policy of open borders, and now with New York City, and what it actually does. I want you to pay attention. This is serious stuff. Because according to the old New York Times, okay, we don't read the New York Times. I get it. You don't like it. I get it. Okay. But this is the type of story, when it comes from the New York Times, okay, the liberals don't want you to hear any of this. And I can't believe the New York Times would start publishing things like this. So the headline in the New York Times is there's about 85,000 missing kids. Okay. 85,000. And that's minimum. It could be up to 250,000. So what's happened is, when all these illegals come over the border and there's children, they're documented here at the border, and they're given identification type papers, and they are supposed to be tracked wherever they go. All right. So you track, like a family, you're going to take them to Phoenix, you're going to take them to Wisconsin, you're going to take them to Pennsylvania, whatever. The government tracks them. We know where everyone's going as they come across, and we document them. Now, these are just the ones we document. How many other are crossing the border and getting through by the millions that we don't? But the ones we document, if you can follow me, there's 85,000 children missing on the system. That means they've come across, and then we document them, and within 30 days, poof, they disappear. They're gone out of the system. Okay, where did they go? That's minimum of 85,000. And from talking to people on the border and the people in the government I talked to, This is just the tip of the iceberg on the human trafficking issue, which we're always talking about, and the left never wants to confront. Their policies, they never want to confront their own policies. And this is tragic. These kids are sold into sex work. They're sold into slavery. Okay, they're sold into these jobs, these child jobs, and they're not documented. They don't get paid. Most of them are abused, killed. 85,000 plus, up to 250,000 children. These aren't adults. These are little kids, folks. This is how bad that policy is, and no one's really talking about it, but we've got to expose it. I need your help in exposing this also, because this is a travesty. These kids, when I talk about the sex trade and the human trafficking exploding, it is. I hope you understand it. This is exploding in this country because of this horrible border policy. Plus, without even getting into the other end of the border policy, the drug issue is exploding. And they're doing nothing. Biden is doing nothing. The Democrats are doing nothing. In New York State, they're doing nothing. Nothing. It's tragic. And listening to the bilge that comes out of these people, sometimes you just can't take it because it's all lies. And they think they're doing something when they're actually doing nothing. And when they do something, it's actually wrong. So I want to just tell you that 85,000 missing kids breaks my heart. And I wish we had some leadership in there that would actually just do the right thing. This could all be stopped. This is not anything that we can't control. It's a very simple fix. It takes a leader, and we don't have any. And we don't have any in the Democrat Party. Okay? This wokeism that's taken over the country is out of control. It's causing children to die. They're getting killed because of Democrat policies. Sorry if you're a Democrat, but wake up. This is getting crazy. So this border crisis isn't just a crisis of people coming over. It's a crisis of murder. It's a crisis of children getting human trafficked like there's no tomorrow. And so what did we do in New York State just the other day? Okay. Governor Kathy Hochul, you know, the box of rocks. She does an executive order. She bypasses myself and all the legislature, the Senate and the Assembly, and creates this thing where she's going to give free health care to prostitutes. That's right. Free health care, dental, everything to prostitutes, sex workers. And she wants it legalized next year. Come January, they're going to pass that. I'll bet you by end of January, that's a new law in New York State that sex work is actually legalized. They decriminalized it. Now they're going to actually legalize it. But she wants to give them, because they say they need the health care. All that's going to do is expose a lot more women to the sex trade. It's going to expose a lot more people to human trafficking, and it's going to downgrade and degrade women. And they don't even see it. Can you see it? I hope so, because Democrats and liberals don't even see it. It's an attack on women. And they're doing this all over the woke country right now with women in sports, men being saying that they're women and taking over world records and all sorts of team sports and kicking women out of them. And it's a joke. And that's what they're doing, folks. So I want you to understand that, because now this stupid law, she says, with this, a lot of New Yorkers don't get free health care, and they don't get dental, and they don't get everything else that comes with it. But if you're a prostitute, you can. But let me ask you this. When you sign up, what constitutes a prostitute? They don't even have any parameters. I'm 63. A guy, 75-year-old man could go in there and say, hey, look, I want the free health care. I'm a prostitute. And they're going to say, oh, okay. There's nothing that says he's not. There's nothing. It's just like, I feel like a woman today. Oh, really? You got any, is there any medical reason, or is there any? No, I just feel like it right now. So let me into the bathroom over here and let me on that girls' sports team. And I want to play basketball tonight and score 80 points and set some records. I mean, 75-year-old man can be a prostitute now, okay? And I'm telling you, there's going to be thousands of people that don't have health care that are going to go in and get it by claiming that. That's New York State. This is how stupid. They come up with an idea and they never think it through. Never think it through. They sit there and they hey, that feels good. Let's do it. But they never take the next step. That's why liberals, when you argue with a liberal, when it gets to the second level of argument, it's all about a tax. Am I right? Oh, you're a racist, bigot, homophobe. The second level, when you get down to facts, goes into attacks, personal attacks. That's where it always goes with an argument with a liberal. And I can tell you in Albany, that's all the time. So I don't even argue with most of them. I never debate a lot of them. I just get up and tell what I want. I'm the bill. I talk about it and I blast it. But I've had so many people lie to me on the floor and just say, that's wrong. Well, that's the way you feel. No, that's a fact. Okay, facts are facts, and what you just said is wrong. And I can show you proof. And I do that over and over, and they hate it. A lot of times they won't even debate me. So I just want to let you know, that's where we're at. I hope you understand. Again, this whole thing down in New York City has a ripple effect, and we're starting to see it. And on to our next story, folks. If you're a business owner or you're even an employee, you'll want to hear this. This is right out of 100 years ago, literally the mafia. This story is about New York State controlling everything that you do. What did you do in the 20s if you were a business owner and the mafia came by your store and shook you down and said, you want our protection? You're going to pay. This is what New York State does now to every business owner. It's legalized mafia. And I'm so ticked off because I was a business owner. I dealt with this. Luckily, I didn't deal with it in the pandemic. But this is the unemployment insurance, right? Everybody around the country, unemployment skyrocketed with the pandemic, of course. In New York State was no different. Millions of people were out of their job, and millions of businesses used up all their unemployment insurance that they had in the reserve fund. And so the federal government's biggest bailout was to states for their unemployment insurance. So they gave us New York State billions of dollars and said, here, help your small businesses out. And what did New York State do with that money? Nothing. They didn't give it to businesses to help them. Know what they did instead? They put an extra tax on businesses, an extra tax during COVID, when businesses couldn't even survive and they were shutting down by the tens of thousands, declaring bankruptcy. I can't stay open. And what does New York State do? Instead of trying to help them, they tax them and not give the money that the federal government gave us to use to bail out these companies on the unemployment insurance. They tax these businesses. It's ridiculous. It's the mafia. And these businesses are going under and under for the last couple of years. And New York State still has that unemployment insurance money. In New York City, Democrats are using it for their own pet projects. It's not going to businesses. It's still, after the pandemic's over and these businesses are starting to crawl out, but they're still under the debt. The state still has debt for the unemployment insurance, and they're not using the money they were given to pay off the debt. I hope you understand how crazy that is. We're giving money to help you as an owner, to help you keep your business open so you can keep your employees working. And the state said, nah, not for you. We're the mafia. You don't like it? Suffer the consequences. And we have been. One of the worst states in the country for this. The corruption, again, drips off the walls with this. The Democrats spend money that they don't have and it's not theirs. And instead of helping the people, which they say, oh, we're here to help. They don't. They've got complete control of the Democrats. I hope you understand. 101 to 49. Supermajority. They could have bailed out these businesses, and you, as an unemployed person, at any time, they had billions of dollars at their fingertips, which they were supposed to use to help you. And they said, no, we're we want it for ourselves. That's how corrupt they are. And it still goes on to this day. Still goes on. There's still billions of dollars sitting in that fund, which Governor Cuomo refused to use. Now Hochul's following the same step. Oh, we care about small businesses. Give me a break. The one thing you could do and you refuse to do it, you're a liar. Any Democrat that says otherwise, they're a liar. I was a small business person. I know exactly how this works. And I know exactly what they should be doing. And they're not doing one thing, folks. Not one. This is the mafia from the 1920s. That's your state government. We'll tell you what we want. Pay up or suffer the consequences. And that's what they're doing. I hope you realize it because it's going on today. It's already made headlines again about it. I've got the article right here about the unemployment insurance still almost 3 years later. Really? Billions of dollars sitting there from the federal government that you could use to pay off the government and use to still? Sorry, folks. What is that? What is Ronald Reagan? Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see this shirt. This is my Reagan 1980 shirt. But what did he say were the most deadly words in human history? I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Yeah. You trust government officials, folks? You need some couch time. Best thing that could happen is government gets out of our way and lets the freedom of this country take hold. So I want to just end it with that. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for listening. We are going to see you next time. Stay here with Truth in Politics. I'm Dave DiPietro. Remember, I will always tell you the truth. I will give it to you straight, uncensored. God bless you. We'll see you next time.
You have been watching Truth in Politics with New York Assemblyman David DiPietro. Search for DiPietro for you and tune in every week on Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, YouTube, and many other internet platforms, including the Big Whack Radio Internet podcast. Thank you for listening.